such a travesty that so many people who were born with clitorises have no idea how they work, where they are, how they're positioned in our bodies. And so I was like, what's the best way for us to teach people, right? Because not a lot of people want to sit down and learn, this is what your clitoris looks like, right? What's the best way for us to teach people in a way that will help them learn?
Well, you know, behavioral psychology, I have to go back to it, always says that if you have an engagement in teaching, so I was a professor for almost 20 years, and if my students saw visuals and they had an interaction and they had to think about themselves as it relates to swallowing, then they learned more. So I'd give them examples of things they did at the dinner table. Did something go down the wrong pipe? Like, oh right, I'm like, that's aspiration.
Exactly.
The same thing with a game show idea that we had, which is let's usher this idea in by giving it a title that's fun and interesting, but more importantly, sort of putting sex in there in interesting ways where people end up engaging and having fun without knowing it, right? And so that's what the game show was. It was a lot of fun for that reason, because people then started screaming out weird sex positions that we were like,
bro,
the Amazon, like it got to the point where it wasn't even it was their game. And that's kind of what we wanted. Like, you guys take this over, make it your own, because then people want to talk about things that are otherwise supposed to be taboo.
All right, so, y'all ready? Yes. Other than the vagina, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure. Solomon?
The nipple.
The nipples. That is on the board. Would you like to pass or play? Playing. All right. Name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
Our feet.
The feet.
Yeah. Hey, that's on the board.
That's not correct. Remember, these are the top 5 answers. Top 5. Other than the vagina, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
The neck.
The neck.
Yes, that's it.
That is on the board. Good job. All right, other than the vagina, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
Our mind.
Number 1 answer, baby girl. Number 1 answer. The brain is the biggest sexual organ in the body. You better know yourself.
In terms of stimulation, what is the part that you think women like to be stimulated the most? Now, first we talked about what you see. The second thing is what they feel. What do you think the most stimulable part is?
Brain.
The brain. Oh my God, we love him immediately. He is not going home alone tonight. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
I learned how to be a pleaser.
He's going to be talking to somebody. He's going to be conversating his way to a clitoris tonight.
I'm
right?
serious.
You are literally the best person.
So, all right. Other than the vagina, Solomon, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
The ear.
The ears. So ears and neck is already on the board. I'll give you one more try. You got 1 X on the board.
Lower back.
The lower back. That is not on the board, unfortunately. That is correct, though. It's a good erogenous zone, but it is not. It's not a top 5 answer. All right, you guys have 2 X's on the board. All right, high pressure. You ready? Other than the vagina, name a female body
make a
part.
suggestion. You have to know what the vagina is. That's the thing.
Other than the vagina.
Is a really key word here.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for clarifying our clitoris.
The clitoris. Is that on the board? It sure is. It's the number 2 answer.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, the clitoris is located on the vulva, right?
Because you know what?
All right.
You didn't know
All right,
that.
Solomon. High pressure. You got 1 answer on the board, 2 X's on the board. Other than the vagina, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
What's after that, dummies?
Let's say the booty hole, but I don't know if that's
Booty hole. Is booty hole on the board? Booty hole. No booty hole on the board. No booty hole. All right.
That's not the same thing. You don't know your own.
Again, not that these are incorrect answers, right? They're just not the top 5. All right. Other than the vagina.
I just want to say before they answer, this is an indication that the female anatomy is not clearly understood. Okay.
By all people.
Including the owners of them. So what I find really interesting is that we are often in a space where women feel like they're being objectified.
Yes.
That they are basically slabs of spheres.
Meat.
Be ass spheres, titty spheres. If you're lucky, you got all the spheres, right?
Yeah.
Even cheekbones.
Yeah.
But sometimes I experience that women talk about their sexuality and being pleased, and the issue that they don't have as many orgasms. So they're hyper aware of their body on the external, but not on the internal. Like they don't really know what pleases them sexually.
Honey, this is why I have a job. Yeah. This is why I do the work that I do. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you, I walk into rooms full of women all the time. Mm-hmm. I hold up a model of the clitoris. Mm-hmm. Anybody know what this is? Crickets.
Literally.
Crickets. They have no idea because the clitoris is so much bigger, right? Than just the little nub you see on the outside. It's
wishbone.
It's like a little wishbone, right? Or a flying eagle. I like to say that, right? Mm-hmm. Either way, we don't know. We just don't know. Then the other thing is, if we don't know what the full clitoris looks like, we have no idea how ours works, right? Some people want more external stimulation. Some people want more internal stimulation of the clitoris. Some people don't even know they have an internal clitoris, right? And so, some people don't even know what the G-spot is.
What is the most arousing part of her, in your opinion?
Depends on the woman, for one. She put me on the spot. All these females right here. Like, damn. I gotta make sure I get it right, at least.
No, it's just whatever your preference is. It doesn't have to be that's right.
It's like so open-ended, because for me, it's really like what the vibe is at the moment with that particular person. Because everybody's different when you connect with them. Because that's how I view sex.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you're looking at porn,
Okay.
what's the thing you look for?
What's the thing I look for?
Yeah, parts, body parts.
I look just for the clitoris, as long as you play around with it. Clitoris.
Say that again?
Clitoris.
Wow.
I like to eat that a little bit.
Other than the vagina, name a female body part that can be stimulated for increased pleasure.
I guess so. G-spot for 300.
Oh, ding, 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 ding!
So we have a gorgeous woman here, and her name is
Raven.
Raven's gorgeous, isn't she?
Yes.
Thank you. So Raven, what we're asking people is, what do you think is the most arousing thing on a woman that men appreciate?
Arousing. Guys are not as in tune as women are.
Okay.
So they tend to gravitate to our breasts, to our, our curves and things like that. But surprisingly, there's more erogenous zones that me personally I like. I love the back of my kneecaps.
Ooh.
And I love my armpits licked.
Ooh.
So those things I tend to gravitate towards. And whenever I have a new mate, I love to introduce. And of course they're like, your armpit. You want me to lick your armpit? And I'm like, well, you lick everything else.
Yes.
So the question is, you guys ready? All right. Name something that men want most from their sex partners.
Fellatio.
Fellatio. Let's see. Fellatio is correct. That is definitely on the board, right? Name something that men want most from their sex partners.
Threesome.
A threesome. That is the third answer on the board. Name something men want most from their sex partners.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
A free pass.
What's that?
A hall pass.
A hall pass. I'm so sorry that's not correct. It's not. Survey says no. Okay. Name something men want most from their sex partners.
Ooh.
3 more seconds on the board.
Silence.
Silence. She said silence. Y'all get to thinking, okay? 2 X's on the board. Name something men want most from their sex partners. All right. For the chance to steal, Team B in the house. All right. Name something men want most from their sex partners.
Facials?
Facials? Like a facial? Like from the spa? Oh, so men want facials. That's what we're saying?
That's what she said.
Men want facials. Is facials on the board? No. All right.
So anyway, to your point, the funniest thing was, in fact, that you had these list of things that men want that are very clear, and the people in this game show could clearly articulate that. But there was also somebody who said facials.
Like facials. I wasn't sure if he was talking about like facials like spa day facials or like facials like
what? That's a thing?
Facials. That's a facial.
Wait a minute.
I think that's what they were talking about.
And by the way, you mean sperm on somebody's face?
Yes.
But does that have like actual like dermatological?
Well, there's lots of protein in sperm. So
same with chicken broth.
Yeah. Chicken broth on your face versus semen.
I had no clue that that's what it was called, facials. What? Isn't that what you said?
All right, so the question was, name something men want most from their sex partners. So my question to you guys is, what do you want most from your sex partners?
Match my freak level.
Match your freak level. Yes, I get that. Like, be compatible with my kink or my freakiness. I get that.
I can't be an 8 and you a 4.
Facts, on the freak scale.
On the freak scale.
Right, like, so if I want to be tied up and bound and gagged, and you just want vanilla sex, it's not here. We're not there.
Tie you up, bound you.
Exactly. No, but that's what I'm saying. I feel you.
I think men start church with the altar call. And what do you usually have before church? You have come into the Lord's presence, praise and worship. And then you have your little dance, then you have your offering.
And then you dance.
Well, you start.
I like the dance.
Yeah.
What's that, the drink?
Exactly.
You about me a drink?
And then you have your tithes, your testimonies, and then you bring in the sermon, and then the altar call. Like, let's do the phases of church / access to pussy. Like, talk to me. What music do I like? Let's do a dance. Like, get me a drink, communion, get me some
Granddaddy,
food.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, get in my head first.
You're right, though. You're right.
No one's throwing down all of their guilt and shame, so to speak. Not that pussy's guilt and shame, but like your most innards, your most inner parts on the altar in front of the whole church if you didn't usher me in first.
The thing is, we are throwing all of our innermost parts on the altar during sex. We are. It is a very vulnerable act. It is like, ooh, all of the parts of me, they're here.
For everybody?
Yeah.
I don't know that everybody sees it that way.
Well, for the people who are having vulnerable sex, let's say that. I don't know.
Do you believe in making love? Is that a thing?
I believe in it.
As per Erykah Badu, how can we make love if you don't love me?
Hey, how can we make love if I don't love me?
Yeah. Oh, you get it back for that. Girl,
hey,
come
thank
on
you.
Now. You get it back. Slow it down,
okay,
sweetie.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but seriously, how can we make love? How can there be love if we are not loving each other and if we are not loving on ourselves?
Yes.
And you're right,
yes.
Oxytocin, and I would also say serotonin's in there somewhere too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Serotonin, but especially oxytocin, which is the hormone involved with bonding. It spikes. Women have more than men.
Yeah.
It spikes when you give birth, when you have nipple stimulation, when you're breastfeeding, when you have sex. It spikes in everybody. That is that bonding emotional hormone that you have. But yes, and there's some people who argue that men actually do have more emotional connection with women during the sexual act that women might have been socialized to think that they never can, but I don't think that's true at all. I think that they totally can.
Well, I think we've been socialized to believe that because much of our power is love. And when we're told that it's weak to have that kind of power, it's easy to give it up.
that?
Yeah, I feel that's important. I feel like that's what we should be working towards, you know, like if you're getting my number, what's the point, you know? Like I feel like you were attracted to me, so you want to get to know me better, and I want to get to know you better. And if, you know, it works out, we go from there. But if it doesn't work out, you know, there's more fish in the sea for me, so.
Absolutely. I love how, like, clear you are about what you want. At 30, that's really I feel like that's an asset for you going forward. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've always been that way.
No, I haven't always been this way. It's just like my experience, just what I've seen, and you know, I just figured I'd rather just be real clear, no gray areas, just black or white.
So the number one answer.
No, like 100.
I'm sorry. The least popular answer was
different
positions. The next answer was anal. The top answer was enthusiasm.
They don't want to be begging. They actually want you to want it, you know.
Appreciate that. But like, when it comes to like what you want from your sex partner, right? Top 5 answers, what do you think they were?
Honesty.
Honesty.
Top 5. I'm open-mindedness. Somewhere around that line.
Open-mindedness.
This is a good one. Honesty. So you said, I think honesty and open-mindedness is kind of like same. It's
Well, I think there's a difference between being honest
open-mindedness could be
and being willing to try new things. Yeah.
You're right,
Okay.
you're right. Is nasty.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
What else?
Honesty, open-mindedness. Is it men answer this?
Yes.
Don't be a starfish.
Okay. What does that mean? Say that. Don't be a starfish. What does that mean?
Princess Pillow.
Pillow princess. What does that mean?
Just lay in there.
So you want some what? Enthusiasm?
Don't be a fucking starfish.
A starfish.
When you think about starfish, they be like this.
They just like.
All right, y'all. Last one. Last round. All right. Trying to let Team B redeem themselves. All right. Last round. I want you all to, okay, we've got Taliba and Tamika, okay? All right. Name a commonly performed sex position. Oh. Go ahead.
Doggy style?
Doggy style. Ding, 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 ding.
That's
that is
on the
on the board. Would you like to pass or play? Play. All right, Kenya, it's on you. Name a commonly performed sex position.
Missionary.
Missionary. Ding, 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 ding. Missionary is the number one answer. Shout out to all those who love a little vanilla sex. Okay. Name a commonly performed sex position.
69.
69. Ding, 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 ding.
Let's go.
Least popular answer, though. You want to know why? It's so hard to keep concentration when you're doing 69. Jeez. How can I get pleasure and give pleasure at the same time? I'm lazy. Anyway.
Also, with height differentials, it's an issue.
It is. All right. Kenya. Name a commonly performed sex position.
Let's see. Am I doing a...
I'm trying. It's me. 3, 2, 1.
Amazon.
Amazon.
What the fuck is that?
That's a position? That's a sex position? Do. Google it. So that's 1X on the board, okay? Taliba, name a commonly performed...
Wait. We want to hear what Amazon is. Can you describe that?
Can we just... What's the Amazon?
It's when a woman is on top fucking a man like a man.
Oh, very nice. I know, right? I'm gonna fucking a man like a man. I'm gonna go home and Google that one.
I know.
Name a commonly performed sex position.
3, 2.
Lazy dog?
That's 2 X's on the board. Lazy dog. What's that?
That's when you're flat. It's doggy style, but the woman is lying flat.
Got it. Doggy style, but lazy. Name a commonly performed sex position.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
That's good.
Wheelbarrow?
That is not on the board. Wheelbarrow. I'm assuming the wheelbarrow is when like her legs are wrapped around the and then the hand. Okay. Who's doing that? All right.
So what? This is the funniest part of that in the show. The men, or even if when we're talking to people on the street, the men could clearly say, you know, ass and titties. And in fact, when we asked 100 men in the Freaky Feud, it was 50% ass, 50% titties, right? But then the woman would say, if you ask a woman, when the male gaze is upon you, what do you think that they're after? They'll say, ass and titties, but I really want them to like my walk. Ass and titties, but I really want them to like my voice.
Yeah.
Ass and titties, but I really want them to like my mind, like come for my mind first.
Yeah.
So they know what men want, because what men want is just like all over culture, right?
Yeah.
It's literally, you can't even sell like Oreo cookies without sex being in it, and it's never your mind or your tongue. It should be your tongue in these ads. A tongue can be sexy. As a swallowologist, I have thoughts.
We have a gorgeous woman named Joy. I happen to know her because she is an amazing human being. And I just also want to say that this lovely knows what she wants, and she understands what men do, right? And so the question I have for a woman who's targeted because she's beautiful on the street is, in your opinion, what would you say the top thing is that men seem to be interested in when approaching a woman? Like, what is their gaze going toward?
Body parts.
Any in particular?
Your ass.
Ass.
For sure.
Ass.
What you got here?
Yes. And what are they called generally?
Yeah, tits.
Titties.
Yeah,
Just
titties.
want to make sure we're talking about the same here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mammaries.
Yeah.
But I do think they look at your face. Like, I do think a man, you know, admires a woman who is aesthetically pleasing.
A pretty face.
In the face.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Grace in the face.
Yeah, grace. I like that. Grace in the face.
Yes, yes.
Grace
Okay,
in the
and
face.
so if a man was approaching you and you would tweak his gaze or his attention, you would say, instead of my X, please appreciate my Y. Let's do some algebra. Instead of my X, please appreciate my Y. How would you fill those in?
Oh, instead of my, because I don't have much I ain't got no trunk
in the trunk.
I ain't got nothing in the trunk, but I got a lot up front. And so instead of appreciating the milk bags, appreciate my smile, my eyes, sense of humor. I know you may not know my sense of humor. If I'm just walking down the street, but you know, say, hey, you got a nice walk. I've actually had someone say that to me.
That's actually really sexy.
I was like, a walk is very sexy.
That is very sexy.
And so, yeah, appreciate my walk or my style.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, appreciate
or
myself.
my smile.
My smile.
And if I don't have them, please don't tell me to put one on. How about that?
Because I don't owe you that.
Exactly.
Sex is such a taboo topic, just like money.
Yeah.
You cannot talk about sex or money openly, freely in the way that we would anything else.
Yeah.
And so to have folks come together to learn about sex and then also have these conversations. I learned about sex positions I've never even heard. The Amazon, the lazy dog. I've been doing the lazy dog for years. Didn't know I had a name. Whoops. Now I know.
Facials. I mean, so many things were learned. So many things were learned.
No, seriously. So I love that we can like host events and interact with audiences in this way and educate them. Because at the end of the day, what's missing is the education. And I think when we inject that education into the dialogue.
Yeah. But the reason but the thing is that these data, this information, it's all over the internet.
It is.
But nobody wants that on their cookies the way that they want like Pornhub on their cookies.
No.
And Pornhub doesn't actually show you how sex works.
No.
They show you the Hollywood ultra white version.
It shows you performative sex.
Exactly.
And this is what I teach all my clients all the time. Like I can show you how to perform sex all day, but do you want pleasure or do you want a performance?
Yeah.
Okay, so the other question is, we'll ask you this. What do you think men would say besides breasts and butt? If they're being a little bit less traditional, what are some interesting spots that you think some in-tune men might say?
Like the back of the ear. I love when men like touch softly, like on my shoulder blades. That's really nice. At inner thigh. I love women like play in their hair, like stuff like that. Just very like sensual things that typically, you're not thinking about.
Warm you up, right?
Yes.
I love it.
Really
Before
do.
you go straight to the target. I mean, it's going to get there eventually, but do we have to get there at first touch?
So,
right?
Yeah.
So what I learned is that there are a lot of people who are probably in their mid-40s who've had a lot of sex, but don't actually know how it works. It's like there's buttons and they don't know which button does what. They're just like pilots who are just like slapping things and the plane is going. They don't know how. They just know if they slap randomly, something happens and it lands. And sometimes I land, sometimes I don't land, sometimes I crash, but I just be slapping buttons. It's like, why don't you know which button does what, when, and how?
What an amazing
Pilot your
analogy.
own body and the person you're with is your co-pilot, but they can't be in charge of your shit.
100%. And this is what I teach 40 to 50-year-old women all the time. This is all the job that I do.
I spend so much time blaming men.
Not even. No. I blame men, but I also blame them.
No, I said they spend so much time.
No, they do.
Yeah.
They do spend a lot of time blaming men. And I'm like, but what's the answer?
But I know a lot of women who will not touch themselves.
I know too. And I'm like, okay.
You know too, or you know
I
as
know
well?
them too.
Okay.
They show up to my blowjob
Because there's only
classes.
2 in DC.
Shut up. They show up to my blowjob classes and they're like, masturbation. I don't do that. And I'm like, oh.
Back to the altar call. I mean, some of that has to do with church.
Here's
and
the altar.
idea.
This is the altar call. All the lonely, all the wanting, all the yearning. Come on down to the altar. Touch yourself. Find your place. And use your voice to tell your partner about the places where you've touched, where the Lord has magnified.
Come on now.
Amen. There will be an increase for you.
Hallelujah.
There will be pleasure for you. You deserve pleasure. You are worthy. Go forth and prosper.
Go forth and pleasure yourself.
Amen.
Clink in Jesus' name.
Amen. I love our life.
I told you I'm here. I'm here. Cameron speaks, sound speaks. Kobe over here. All right. Man, he's so hyped now. We switch burgers.
I love Benji.
All season was y'all ready? Let's get it rocking and rolling. Speeding and gleeding. Come on, man. Get that food in your mouth. Man, I'm ready for you. Gulp Group 2 episode recap. Take 2. 7.
Almost like a pilot who's like,
All right, hold for the ambulance. Go back to the.
I'm so excited about my pilot moment.
I know. Go back to that next. Start from the beginning, okay?
Which beginning?
All right, so we have Prissy here. Prissy, Walt, your voice carries, sir. Back to you.
So
Are you single?
No.
You have a girlfriend? Are you married?
I'm not married.
So you are
Technically single.
You're in a you are in a relationship.
The IRS said it.
I'm telling you, look.
Shit, I owe taxes to shit.
Of your broken pussies.
I just want to be clear that my dad never said that.
All of your lonely pussies. Make it down to the altar of grace.
So let me just this. Oh, can I do my pilot thing?
Yeah, we're ready. Oh,
I'm gonna say buttons. There are a lot of. I'm gonna say what I learned was. Can I go back to that?
What team is this? What team you got on right now? That's the Commanders? The Dolphins? That's the Miami?
Willie Beeman, get your mind right. Any given Sunday, you can get.
It's a movie? It's not even a real team? Y'all production ass niggas.